Welcome back! In the last episode, we met the Regent Honeyeater and learned about the threats it faces in today's world. Now we will meet the people working hard to save the species from possible extinction. Juvenile Regent Honeyeaters don't get their song directly from their fathers, but they learn them from their neighbor tutors. However, because of the extremely low density within this area, often there's no appropriate male tutors nearby. So they end up developing weird song, which is a clip song. So what does the clip song means for the Regent Honeyeaters? Well, females are much less attracted to males that sing the clip song, which is a bad news for not only the singer but the population. Also, scientists found that the general diversity of songs is linearly decreasing as time goes by.
So we're finding around 12 to 15% of the wild males, they don't sound anything like a Regent Honeyeater when they sing. They sound like another species. I think so far we've heard them produce the songs of maybe 7 or 8 different bird species, which is really fascinating.
This is Taronga Zoo, where the Regent Honeyeater reproduction and reintroduction program take place. However, zookeepers here face similar problems to what scientists found in the wild.
The challenge is just trying to breed enough to release and have enough variety of the genetics so that we have a healthy population. So the program has been managed strongly from the beginning, so we know who's bred, we know who's related to who, so we have a really good handle on that side of things, and it does seem to be working pretty well. We recently have done some genetic sampling and DNA testing, and most of our assumptions are pretty close.
But in the early stage, keepers assumed that birds would develop the right song naturally. They didn't provide the young birds with any song tutors. Eventually, without a teacher, they developed a new form of song, known the zoo song.
In more recent years, it's been the song tutoring that's been a big challenge for us, because trying to teach the birds the song and then also not losing that song. So we have to house them differently than we used to. We used to be able to put them all together in the Blue Mountain Bushwalk exhibit, so that made it a little bit easier.
We want the captive birds to sound like the wild birds when they're released, because we know that song plays a really important role in things like attracting mates and holding a territory.
After learning this, the zookeepers are doing things differently. Although it has taken some trial and error.
Now already 3 years later, we've learned quite a few things about the song tutoring. We now have already noticed that 2 or 3 birds that were released from, I think, Taronga Western Plains Zoo or Taronga Zoo, I'm not sure. They had been song tutored, but they didn't have the perfect call. They were released. They were seen again 1 week, 1 year later, singing a perfect wild song. So what we suspect, and this is still needs to be further investigation, is that if they get that baseline learning, that stays with them, even if their song is not perfect at that time. But once they mingle and interact with wild birds, they will further develop their song.
In the next episode, we'll look at what the future has in store for the Regent Honeyeater, and what more these amazing people can do to secure the future of the species.